Nuwa and Ririsa exchanged contact information. And Nuwa, the shy girl, smiled brightly when she was invited to hang out. However, out of nowhere, Nagomi appeared and approached them, making Nuwa's face turn pale. Nagomi, still misunderstanding the situation, asked bluntly, "Are you trying to cause trouble with Lily?" When Nuwa remained silent, Nagomi continued, "I understand feeling jealous of someone more famous or prettier than you. But bullying them is wrong. Instead, why don't you challenge me instead?" She offered a few more pieces of advice. And concluded with, "We're allies and friends now." Nuwa, doing her best to speak up, managed to thank Nagomi and explain that there had been a misunderstanding. At that moment, the group of main characters arrived, and Nagomi realized she had just embarrassed herself in front of them. She felt she would be teased all night. Okumura, grateful to Nagomi for the advice she had given Ririsa, appeared flustered but smiled, and Nuwa's feelings toward Lily made Ririsa very happy. Nuwa, speaking little but with deep sincerity, shared her admiration for Lily. She confessed that she loved everything about her, from manga to anime, but also felt confused as negative memories from her past started to flood back. Still, Nuwa no longer lingered on them and confidently asked Ririsa, "What do you like about Lily?" They chatted away like old friends, their conversation cute and full of laughter. Nuwa's past self looked at her current self from afar and smiled. Ririsa even apologized for talking too much and not letting Nuwa speak, which made Nuwa feel better, realizing that many people make the same mistake. From that moment on, Nuwa knew she could laugh with her friends, unburdened by the anxiety that had once held her back. At the same event, a blonde girl rushed around, looking for a lost item at the stall. After retrieving her belongings, she expressed her joy, except for a hair clip she refused to lose. Her stride resembled a manga character's, and when she noticed two photographers showing off a picture of Lily and Nuwa together, she approached them excitedly, complimenting the photo. She then immediately began asking the photographers for more photos, which made them feel awkward. It turned out that this enthusiastic girl was Kazaki Aria, a newbie who didn't even know the abbreviation for cosplayer. A few days later, Nuwa went out with the two main characters. Wearing a cute outfit, she was much more comfortable talking to Ririsa, but still reserved around the older brother. It was the first time Nuwa had gone out with friends after school, and she felt overjoyed. The studio they visited belonged to Chick, a friend of Majora, who was also part of the Binthuan cosplay community. Chick had given the trio 3 free hours to use the studio and offered to take photos of them if they didn't have their own photographer. However, Ririsa declined, saying only her senpai, Okumura, could take her photos. This comment made the photographers feel shy, but they appreciated the offer. That day, they took photos in a fantasy-themed room with classic props. Okumura was eager to shoot in the studio after learning from Ajino. Nuwa was dressed as the leader of the Guardian Angels and felt so immersed in her character that she couldn't stop smiling. After a while, Ririsa asked to do a pose where they hugged. Nuwa blushed, feeling awkward because Ririsa's chest pressed against her. Afterward, they reviewed the photos, and Nuwa was impressed with how good Okumura was at photography. She asked him to send her the pictures, and Okumura, feeling nervous, agreed. Nuwa later realized how many people followed her online after being included in a cosplay ranking. She had always been indifferent to social media, unlike Ririsa, who had a much more polished image. Nuwa envied Ririsa for her ability to transform into characters so seamlessly that people would mistake her for the actual anime characters. Meanwhile, Nuwa wanted to prove herself worthy of being Ririsa's partner, especially since her character, Nokia, had sworn to protect Lily with her life. Suddenly, there was a commotion outside the door, and it was Aria, the blonde girl from earlier. Upon hearing that Lily and Nuwa were at the studio, Aria barged in, asking to be friends. Nuwa, startled because of her introversion, felt overwhelmed by Aria's directness. Aria, who had met Nuwa and Ririsa at the previous event, instantly liked them. She tried to send Nuwa a message, but Nuwa had locked her inbox. Aria, still full of energy, asked if she could take a photo with Nuwa, but Ririsa stepped in, blocking her from getting too close. Nuwa, still wary of people who invade her space, felt uncomfortable but reluctantly agreed to let Arya join the group photo. As Arya lowered her tone, saying she needed to change but felt embarrassed with guys around, Nuwa was reminded of her past reluctance. Meanwhile, Arya kept an eye on her precious hair clip.